Hmm. Will it function this week? My constant question of whether or not my streams will ever work anymore. I think so. Looks like it. It got a green light, so I'm assuming that's a positive sign. I mean, I never know though. It could easily just be like, well, we're just gonna, you know, we're just gonna have all streaming down or some bullshit. No, it's up. One second. Let me pull it up. See if anybody wants to come hang out this week. I'm gonna stream for about a solid hour. Got some plans, but I figured I couldn't pass up a stream, even if a short stream, given the amount of stuff we got this week. There was a lot of content, a lot of different things to talk about. From just here in Mashima alone is enough to be an entire stream. Like we got Eden Zero, Fairy Tale, now weekly for the next 10 weeks. We have Heroes, which is a really fun start. Really nice interactions between Shiki and Natsu. We got almost 20 minutes, like I think it was like 18, like 50 something seconds of gameplay for the new game, which is looking pretty solid. And then on top of that, we got, Black Clover, My Hero Academia, Kimetsu no Yaiba. I like how I'm blanking out on Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen, but yeah, those as well. It's gonna be stoked. I'm pretty excited for these. Like everything has been going absolutely fantastic for like pretty much every series that I've been following lately. All these have been really enjoyable to just see like the amount of content we're getting just explode near the end of the year. One second, I'm just gonna get out gonna get a tweet real quick to see if anybody wants to come hang out, and then we'll get into the things. I don't have again. I don't have a lot I really need to get set up, but I think the tweet is the only thing I really got left, and then we should be good. But that alone is gonna be, I think, a lot of excitement for anybody who wants to come in here, because the series are all around just giving the fans exactly what they want, with very little like room for boredom. Like we've already getting into some madness with Black Clover, already getting into some shenanigans with the Heart Kingdom. We've already got we got some sadness, Kimetsu no Yaiba. We got some characters dropping out. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Let me get some of these comments though. What's up, Jared Punch? How's it going? What's up, Elric? How you guys doing today? I started to make a few female characters. Well, that's good. I was thinking about a character recently because I wanted to do 5 series, kind of like if I ever decided to actually get somewhere with writing, and I just finished kind of the concept for my last character and what that story would be like. So good on you, man. What's up, Jason? How's it going? I'm on the Red Light District arc. Yeah, that one is probably. I think that one's my favorite arc with that. Rip North America. All right, what are you talking about? Oh, in League of Legends. I played a couple games today. I played 2 games before this. I'm gonna play some with my brother afterwards. But I actually won both games. I had really fun. I did really well. Oh, I did alright in the first game, but we won, and then I did really well in the second game. So that was all around exciting. One second. What the? Oh, there we go. Anyway, yeah, so that alone made me pretty happy, getting a little warmed up for this game. But as this, there was no way I could pass on the amount of stuff we got this week. And I did really like, even just this small panel, it was only like a third of the page of Natsu and Shiki clashing punches. That was all around exciting. Well, I want to look and see who played what character in that Worlds match. See if anybody played one of my guys, one of my preferred characters. I played right before this. Is 2 games I played. I played an Aatrox game. They keep nerfing him, a boy. They keep nerfing the hell out of him. But look, I think I finished positive. I think I was like 4-3 that game, and then I played a Clud game, and I was I think 14-5. So solid stuff on that. It's unfortunate they lost, though. What are you most hyped about for the next 10 chapters? Here's the thing. That's an easy question, or an easy answer to the question, because it's what am I most excited about within the next 10? Well, there's only 10 chapters of Heroes, assuming, because they said 10 weeks, so I am excited for that, but obviously I'm going to be the most excited for 100 Years Quest, because that's going to be giving us a lot of crazy stuff within the next bundle, because we've already got some pretty questionable spots where they're at now, and I'm predicting that that we're going to be getting some E&D stuff next chapter. The thing though I'm very intrigued to see and find out for Heroes is whether or not Natsu and Haru remember each other. That is something I'm still very curious about, just because like it would get any of those kind of like, oh yeah, my name's this, however, like kind of get that out of the way, and instead it would be, them having former beef with each other. Plus it would be cool to have that rolling into it. But then the question would be, if you ended up buying like a volume of Heroes, are they going to include that chapter in there? I don't know. I mean, you don't really need to. I mean, nothing happened in that chapter that really would be like important plot wise, other than Natsu and Haru, met and scrapped a little bit. Do I play Draven? I've played Draven a couple times. I think the last time I played him, I think I did all right with him. But my ADC, I usually went Kog'Maw. I really like Kog'Maw, but he keeps getting nerfed. I think they buffed him recently though, so I might try him again. You think more will inherit Valkyrie's powers? Well, does she have anything outside of what she already had? Because she already can use Odin Strike. She has the same Ether Gear. I'm wondering what exactly she would get a boost of. Maybe get like her Ether Gear on top of hers, or maybe unlock like a new form to her swords. I'm not really sure what it would be. Maybe her full body Ether Gear, similar to like when Shiki did his. Hers would have some form of resemblance to Valkyrie. I keep trying to say Valkyrie, but Valkyrie. I know the Valkyrie. I think that's the kind of like what Warcraft version of them. But yeah, a Valkyrie kind of take on whatever hers is. Give her the wings. Maybe give her some form of like hair chain, slightly resemble. See, I'm messing up words right now. To resemble Valkyrie as the character, and not as much Valkyrie the kind of like the inspiration. My ultimate dream would be if Ravemaster catches enough attention for Heroes to get a remake. There's no way to get a remake. I think that you could get the highest thing you could get out of it is an anime remake, but I don't know if that would happen. I think with the possibility of getting a physical volume, like re-release, maybe some like crisp volumes out there. Because anytime I buy one off online, they're all pre-owned, they're worn down, which isn't a bad thing. If I'm gonna read Ravemaster, I'm gonna read them like digitally and in good quality. I want to get the ones on the shelf though for ownership, which is good. I really wish that we could get that though, because I know that anytime I'm buying it off of a third party, it's going to them and not going to the creator. But I guess, well, no, yeah, there's long since sold, so it's not like it's gonna show up to them. I'm not caught up in Kimetsu no Yaiba manga. Well, I won't go too much into detail on what happened. I'm anime only, so no spoiler for Kimetsu. How are you avoiding spoilers? Like, the Kimetsu no Yaiba fandom likes to spoil people. I don't understand why that is. It's just their thing. Imagine Manazone could spread across the entire planet. Maybe by the end, maybe that'll be like Yuno's seg, like near the end. I think that would be a little bit too crazy. I mean, at that point, we would need to have like a reason for it. What would be the reason? Because it'd be like, well, what would make that character, like, how would anyone ever stop them? You would have to have someone like Asta who, if like Yuno and series could do that, and then you'd have to have someone like Asta, like, of equal level, and then always dispelling and attacking. I mean, it's possible. It's fully possible, given how crazy we're at already, but I don't know. It'd be like a planet-wide mana zone. Maybe by the end. Like, imagine you're at the end of the series, and there's some battle, and maybe some villain is constantly getting away, and you have, like, worldwide mana zone set up, and just, like, getting attacks on him to try and lure him into Asta. That'd be pretty sick. I think that would be a really nice way to do it, but the thing about that I'm kind of, like, trying to think about is then, where do you go after that? That's kind of like, end game. I don't know if Tabata's going to go, like, to other planets or do stuff beyond that. I mean, it's fully possible. The dude's definitely has a lot set up for the future. Do I play Draven? Oh, I already read that. Yeah, I played Draven. Kog'Maw, though. Homura versus Kabora versus Urza? Who's Kabora? I don't know who you mean by Kabora, my guy. Do you think Black Clover system can be plant level? I mean, it's all based off of what Tabata has plans. Like, as far as we've seen, country level is currently the top, but that's, again, as of right now. there's definitely people beyond, like Lumiere and Demon Licht. But, I mean, like, for instance, Demon Licht was powerful, but Lumiere could seemingly fight him one-on-one, whereas he couldn't even fight the Word Devil one-on-one. And the Word Devil, it doesn't even seem to be, like, the top devil. It looks like there's going to be a bunch more above him. I mean, we could easily get into, like, planet-level things eventually with with Black Clover. It's fully possible. I know that from Hungry Joker, the series that Tabata did before Black Clover, he had the main character making mini black holes. So, you know, that power level idea is in his head. We just don't know when and where it'll happen. I'm only on volume 8 of Kimetsu no Yaiba. Really need to catch up. Yeah, get to it, man. Solid stuff. It has the potential. I think the numbers are close for it right now. I think it's getting close to possibly beating One Piece this year, which would be really interesting to see if One Piece got dethroned. The thing that I'm looking forward to is if that happens is, you know, Oda would be very nice about it. He wouldn't care. He'd be like, congrats, I'm impressed. I'm very happy that you were able to accomplish this. But the One Piece fans will probably be really salty. I hope My Hero Academia Season 4... Oh, and I skipped one. I'll get back to... My Hero Academia Season 4 gets around to Gentle and LeBron. I think they'll end on that. I think that's where they're going to be, like, end out the arc. And then set up for all the Endeavor stuff. My thing with E&D stuff is I could see it happening. I'm not convinced. There's definitely other ways writing could go. I'd want it to be E&D, but I'm not invested until we know. Well, then, like, how are they going to get out of it? How's Natsu not going to get his soul eaten? How's Lucy not going to get turned white? That's the kind of question that I'm running into with it. It's already been established that obviously Natsu should have died when Zeref died, but he didn't. But we know that there was some shenanigans with Lucy in the book. It hasn't been fully confirmed, but I think that people can, you know, take clues and work out the idea of what happened. And so I think this is just the time to do it. The Dragon Eaters, I think, are really good with what's going on, as well as, you know, convert, like, mind-controlled Fairy Tail members, because it gives a chance for you to get set up like this without it having to happen in the fight with the Dragon Gods. You're getting it established where it's not going to feel like convenient to a big boss fight. Like, again, Mercifovia, though, is different because the thing that happened was already, like, important to set up further plot with Ignia, and we know that Mercifovia wasn't really in control. He was just kind of like a rampaging fella at the time. And Ignia kind of forced it upon them, so... there we go, got that. How broken is Rebecca compared to Lucy and Ellie? I mean, Ellie is definitely, in terms of power, like, all her power output, the strongest. There's a lot of potential for Rebecca, but there's also way more potential, I think, personally, for Lucy, because if Lucy ends up with all the spirit keys, being able to mix in Stardust, she's going to be broken. Because she's going to have probably, like, get into, like, Celestial Spirit King levels of, like, just control over the spirit realm, and you got to keep in mind that probably means that she could just straight teleport people into the Celestial Spirit realm. There's a lot of things that she could do, like just into looking at some of the Celestial Spirits, like Gemini being able to copy people's powers. You're looking at Ares. Ares' wool magic is just high levels of defense, and the fact that it's also hacks because it could pretty much soothe out somebody's will to battle. There's a lot potentially there for both of them. With Rebecca's, I'm guessing hers is going to be a lot more constrained to, like, specific requirements of how she's able to do, like, a little bit of time reversal stuff. But it's not like... It doesn't have the sheer raw level of something like Ethereon, and it doesn't have the large-scale, like, spread out of what Stardress Mix can have that Lucy has. There's definitely potential there. It just is all around dependent on what we find out more about it, because as of right now, all we know is if she dies, she can go back a couple seconds as long as her ether gear's up. But we don't know, like, again, the full extent of that. Rereading Volume 4 of Eden Zero, still don't want to finish it since Volume 5 is coming out soon. We go straight into Volume 5. That's a solid volume. I think, what are we at, Volume 6 right now? That sick orange color. I want to look at the covers again, because I'm still wondering what exactly is the best setting one for the series. I'm pretty sure, looking at the logo for Heroes, it's like, you know, the blue for Rave Master, red for Fairy Tail, and then the purple for Eden Zero. So I'm guessing the purple is going to be much more for what Hiro Mashima's going for it. And maybe that's what will be the color for Shiki's full body ether gear form. Though I'm betting it's green because, you know, we've seen that the colors on his ether gear are green. But we know that the power that he circulates around him when he's doing it and doing gravity manipulation is purple. So I guess maybe just purple and green. That's actually a really sick color combination. I wonder what characters, if I looked up, just going off that color, are branded with that. I'm very interested now. What's good, Rex? Have you kept up with Samurai 8? I'm like 2 chapters behind. I get it caught up. Last time I did peek at that whole like shining white soul sword thing, which looks pretty cool. I saw its popularity starting to pick up. I'm glad that it is. I thought all the like hate people were giving to it was 100% unnecessary, and I didn't understand what people were complaining about. I mean, they act like they don't know that Kishimoto likes world building. He likes setting up and establishing a large spread kind of environment. And it's not like he doesn't know how to build a story. It's not like he doesn't know how to construct a series. It's so confusing to me with some of these people when they can see like what he's done with Naruto and the influence that has gone over into Boruto, and not be like, oh yeah, we just have to give it time for this. It's going to be really funny, I think, when it starts to pick up further and get a lot more hype, and then people jump on train with it, and it's like, you guys were talking shit about it, like, 3 months ago. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, hang on, I gotta scroll up. Oh, God, I'm starting to get a little bit behind. Don't get too far behind. Rax, do you have any advice for making mons like Pokemon? Wait, do I have any mons for making Pokemon like Digimon? What do you mean, Jared Punch? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Do you mean, like, monsters? I'm asking, like... What do you mean, like monster design? By the way, Shiki and Rebecca are dead, sir. Are in what? Oh, are dead in the future of Eden Zero. We don't know that 100%. There's some weird stuff, obviously, with time travel and time manipulation, but that's here Mashima stuff and is redirecting of what you think is happening. So be careful with that one. We don't know how that's gonna go. That one I meant an anime remake, but if it gets re-released in manga, better quality, could trigger an anime remake. I mean, yeah, it would have to get good sales. I know that it's got the digital HD re-releases, which are really nice. There unfortunately aren't like physical ones. I'm mad that every time I see like the volume covers for these Zatch Bell like reprints, and they have all these fancy new covers, and there's no knowledge of whether or not they're going to come to America. And I really want them because I really like Zatch Bell. And again, similar to Wraith Master, all the Zatch Bell volumes I have are all worn down and old, and it makes me salty because I want these shiny new ones. Shiki versus Haru. I mean, in reality, in the actual, if you just compare Natsu, Shiki, and Haru all together, you're going to have Natsu be on top, then Haru, then Shiki, but in Heroes, they're all going to be about the same level. And also, really quick, just going to shamelessly shill really fast. I'd really appreciate if you guys, anybody that follows me on Twitter, retweet the stream, see if we can get more people here, more people to come hang out and chat. And really appreciate if you thumbs up the stream, hit the thumbs up button, befriend the like button, and if you're new, hit befriend the subscribe button. Anyway, I don't want to shill too much, and obviously any super chats, any donations are appreciated. But anyway, and also I have a Patreon, but I put it in the description, but I don't expect anybody to set up Patreon. I just have $1. I don't have anything to really give back that I'm not already giving. So until I figure out something, I'm just gonna leave it at that $1 kind of setup. But anyway, let me get back to the stream. I don't want to shill too much. What makes a moment in any media meme worthy? What makes a moment in any media meme worthy? I think it just depends. It depends on the layout. It depends what they actually. I think it's the potential. Like it's not like, oh yeah, they said something. I think it's just. I think the primary thing is the layout of the scene, like what it's gonna look like, how it's gonna really be presented. Something that's very malleable. What's the most meme-worthy character in any anime you know? I don't know. Like JoJo? I think JoJo is like probably the most memed series I've seen. Well, most memed anime. I think the most memed media series I've ever seen is the prequel Star Wars movies. Like, that's that guy who's like, whole plan is to make a meme out of literally every single line in the prequels. Dude's doing heroic work. We're up a new JoJo game by the guys that made Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. Well, that's interesting. Waiting for Golden Wind to be primer on Toonami next week. Oh, it's coming out. I saw a clip of the dub. I think the dude who voices Alex Mercer is gonna be Giorno. What if Shiki's cosmic? What if Shiki's a cosmic being? I have the whole theory that he's like a reincarnated planet through mother stuff. I loved Hungry Joker. Yeah, Hungry Joker. I thought Hungry Joker was interesting in its setup. I like the Black Clover cast more, but I thought the origin of how powers worked in Hungry Joker was really unique, and that was definitely my favorite thing about it, just because it was such a weird thing to kind of see, and it had like kind of like learning thing in the process. You were finding out about like history and science as it was going on, kind of like what Dr. Stone is doing, but Hungry Joker had like powers and much crazier stuff added to it. Rax just thought of a theory about Aesir, and she could be possessed by a devil upon her death, and she could fight Noel. It would have affect Noel's character. Or she might just be the queen of the Heart Kingdom, or some form of tie into it. We don't know. Maybe she's like somehow related to her. Maybe she had to end up becoming a successor in exchange for something, and that's what maybe she didn't actually die. She had to exit. I've already had this kind of like idea of if she's in here, but hers is Mercury. Maybe this is like a relative of hers in reality and not directly tied. Not like her, but somebody close to her in some manner or another. What do you think? What do you? Ah, my God. What do you think? What do you do when you want a power? Give a power up for a character you have. First off, I just really like. I'd like to kind of like have one any type of like boost. Anytime I have a character get some from a boost, I think of like the idea of like like the setup for it, how it's gonna work, the limitations they're gonna get. Are they gonna get the full power up? Is it gonna be kind of like a partial one and they get the full one later? How's this gonna affect other characters? What are the limitations and like bonuses come to the abilities? I usually like it when you get like a power up and it's more of like an increase. It's not like you're getting some myriad of different powers. It's some form of evolution of what you already had. Like for instance, obviously like Dragon Force or not, so he went from the first time, or rather second time he used it, his fire gained the ability to burn magic, and then eventually like his normal fire gained that power. Something like that, where you kind of just it's easier to keep track of and it's easier to kind of like know how things are going to set up rather than just give them like 30 extra powers. But do whatever your thing is, man. How does the turning white thing work anyway? I imagine it's some form of like magic, like mental effect, because it's not like full. It's not like just straight zombie mind control. It's much more like they're having like some form of thought implemented into their heads magically, because they still retain their personality and a lot about them. It's almost like it's almost like their entire being has just been shifted from who they were in the guild to who they were in the White Doctrine cult. It's slightly different, but they're still kind of who they are. Spy X Family is doing better than Samurai 8. Yeah, Spy X Family is doing really good. I saw they're almost at like 1,000,000 volumes in print. Can you do the on how different Rebecca, Ellie, and Lucy are and how people are the same? I mean, you don't even... The thing about that is you don't even need to have a video on them. Like, they're very different. Like, Ellie was a not very intelligent, kind of like selfish and I don't want to say petty, kind of like quick to frustrate gambler. Lucy was she was kind of always out for herself in the very beginning. She couldn't really do a lot on her own, but she was very determined about improving herself. Whereas like Rebecca just really wants to get like her career off the ground. She wants to get more popular. She's always kind of trying to figure out ways that she can get people's attention for her channel. I mean, they're the only similarities. I can't think of really many early similarities to each other, and there aren't that many similarities even like current Lucy to current Ellie. I mean, like what is really that you can do? I mean, you can't even have like Ellie never really gained even the ability to really be much of a self fighter. She had the power of Ethereon, but she was never somebody that was like something where Lucy gained the ability to, like, she learned how to fight, she learned how to do stuff on her own. She doesn't even need her spirits fighting with her. She's able to take their powers and perform on her own. Rebecca, I don't know. Rebecca so far, I think she's a pretty solid character. She's got a pretty solid kind of like setup for her powers and personality. I think, as a character, we don't know how exactly she's going to go. I actually would really like to see, like, when her channel becomes successful, her becoming like a little bit like full of herself, maybe get like a little bit of an ego, get some of that like YouTuber crazy person success when that ends up happening. Ignia versus Aldrin versus Mercephobia. Oh, if you put him at 50%, Ignia's gonna just fry him, because Ignia was easily more powerful than I would say than Mercephobia. Like his 50%, like Ignia barely seemed to try, and Mercephobia didn't even take out like all his fire. Just saying on that one. When Promised Neverland ends, you start reading it. Did you like a series reviewed? Yeah, that was my plan. That was always. I have to, Smarty. I can't leave you hanging. You're like my most consistent super chatter, and I talk to you on a regular basis. I can't do you dirty like that. Do I read the Boruto manga? Yes, I read the new chapter today. I actually enjoyed it. I like the setup. I'm very interested to see what exactly this new guy is like about, because when I saw like a teaser, I thought he was that what's that guy's name? He's the dude who people are speculating has some tie to Jiraiya. But that guy I'm intrigued about. I thought it was him, but I guess it's some other guy. And he said, Kawaki said that in some ways this dude is worse than Jigen. I wonder what that is. Probably personality. Maybe he's got like a weirder fighting style. Maybe he's got like lots of hacks. What's up, Kid Mano? How's it going, man? Well, he's Demon King. Purple is a royal color. I mean, I think always whenever I think of elements, I think the color purple whenever I think of gravity. I don't know why that is, and it's even further like kind of like set up. What was it? Blue Note had purple. Even looking at in Zatch Bell, purple was like the color used for Brago spells. Over in One Piece, Fujitoro is the purple tiger. I mean, really, like I don't know, gravity and purple. I don't know what the origins about that are, but I fully accept them. Nigeria boobs. I don't understand also the complaints that that some of these My Hero Academia fans are coming at. They really like to complain. Though I have noticed, I guess, the My Hero Academia fans refer to the bad members of their fandom as the Boku no Hero Academia fans, which I think is kind of funny. So between them, you have the what would be considered the good side MHA fans, and what is it? Yeah, BNHA fans are the shitty ones. I did think that was funny that they've separated the infection of their fandom in a classification. I came up with attack names for some monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh that didn't get any. Well, that's good. You get some of the plain. I like how Blue Eyes has Burst Stream of Destruction, which is really cool, and then you just have like White Lightning. Rex, how many chapters do you think the Heart Kingdom arc is going to be? 50. I'm going to go with 50. I always assume 50. Odd Eyes, Wing Drag, Kamikaze. I don't know if they're going to have Kamikaze in there. I feel like there's some sensitivity around that. Shiki's purple and green combination sounds like a nebula. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. Because, like, Haru is like silver and blue, and then he's got that kind of that black. Natsu's got the kind of rosy color, as well as, like, the black and gold. And Shiki gets green and purple. That'd be pretty sick on him. And then he's got kind of, like, the dark green shoes, and, you know, like, the dark red coat. And he's got, like, the bright colors from his ether gear. Just looks nice on him. Do you think next for Black Clover is a Yuno arc? I think a Yuno, like, side one would be really cool. Whoa. How is Natsu stronger than Haru? Time burning fire. As well as Natsu is still getting a lot stronger. He's going to become a dragon god. And, Haru is strong. Like the biggest feat you can really look at that really you can assess in the series is what like planet shaking, but that's off of Haru's statement in the back in the Tower of Din arc. I mean, I don't really think that's that credible. I mean, and you can get some like country level stuff from Endless and Megiddo. That whole like kind of some of the claims I really don't fly with them. I mean, I don't know. Natsu's definitely stronger. I mean, really, what's Haru got against time-burning fire? I mean, come on, man. Advice for monster designs. I just don't want them to look like a complete ripoff. I don't know. So I like to watch monster movies just to kind of get that creative juice going, because I really like when... I will watch a movie if the monster just looks cool. There's a movie called The Ritual, and I watched that. I didn't care about the acting. I didn't care about, like, the characters that much, though it was an enjoyable movie. I just wanted to see that monster because it's so cool looking. When it comes down to it, there's like I always want to have like some form of like maybe based off of actual mythology creatures. You know, do some of my own, do some references. It all just depends on how you feel personally. What are you guys? My favorite Hero Academia? Mine is a tie between villain Academia arc and overall arc. I like the Endeavor arc like a lot. I thought that was a really solid one, but also I really like that arc. I thought the villain arc was really cool too. Maybe he'll be after 100-year quest, finish if not currently at UA. Yes, he is. Natsu is a lot stronger than Haru. Come on, man. Fairy Tale or Black Clover? Fairy Tale easy. Rex, have you read Hino ga Crush yet? No, that's that sumo wrestling series, right? Didn't it end recently? There's a section on TV tropes that says the fans of Eden Zero and Samurai 8 are rivals due to space themes. There are hints of potential crossover. How do you feel about saying that? There's no way there's a crossover. I would be fully accepting of a crossover. I don't think there will be because they're from two different magazines. Have you watched Vinland Saga? I've read the manga. I'm caught up to. I'm not caught up. I'm right before they're getting ready to go on, like go to Vinland. What if you give a character a super mode in a spin-off series and exclusive to that spin-off? I mean, then it has to be a temporary one, like a movie buff. If you can bring back a Shonen Jump series, which one could it be? A short-lived one? Oh, Golem Hearts. I really liked the Golem Hearts. I really wanted it to do well. I was very sad when Golem Hearts got cut because I really liked the layout. I thought the main character was cool. I liked that there was like a lot of dark tones to it, but the main character was just like this super optimistic, chipper kid. And they're like, oh yeah, hey guys, we're going to get this done really fast. Gee willikers. And then they go into this town and there's two bodies like crucified over the entryway. And I was just like, wow, things are getting vicious. I was really sad when that went. I'm really hoping that the one-shot for Fantasies gets serialized. I don't know if it will. If not, I hope that the author ends up coming to a different magazine. I don't know. Maybe come to Weekly Shonen magazine where they're much more appreciated. Yeah, it makes me sad thinking about it. By the way, Shiki and Rebecca are dead in the future. Eats are, again, mystery. We don't know if that's the actual case. Wonder what Asta and Noel's mana zones. I mean, Asta will just get kind of like an AoE, like, I imagine an AoE, like, anti-magic pulse. Would be, and have Tabata. I mean, with Noelle, it would just be, she's just dropping spells from different directions. I personally haven't seen any rivalry, and it's difficult to imagine. Wait, I haven't seen any rivalry, but it's a bit difficult to imagine a crossover between them. I mean, yeah, I mean, other than space stuff, I don't really see how they could be rivals. Though I do know that Mashima said if there was ever a manga that he saw as a rival, he picked Naruto. Congrats on the 20 viewers. Yeah, I'm happy that there's a consistent amount of people here. It gives me more energy when I know that there's more people participating. If there's, like, almost no activity, I just get real tired. And I die down. I pretty much feed on activity. Yume is born from Ai's data, which is transferred to Yume. Does Yume mean something? Does it have anything after... Wait, well, trapped in Leo's machine after Zark was defeated. Zark is from... Are you doing like a crossover kind of idea? Black Bulls to Straw Hats in terms of power? Well, the Black Bulls are much more like speed. They have a lot more hacks. The one thing that they don't have right now in comparison to the Straw Hats is just straight like power output. Because that's more of what like Luffy and Zoro are at. Whereas, like, the Black Bulls they have a much more widespread variety of abilities. I mean, I 100% think that Black Clover is going to surpass, Black Clover as a whole already surpassed One Piece, but I think the Black Bulls are going to surpass the Straw Hats within, probably within no time. Actually, Ash actually won a Pokemon League. He defeated Kakui. I mean, that was, like, his worst team, too. He's had, like, way better teams. Johnny Young Bosch is Carnage. Is he playing Carnage in something? Things are crazy right now in Promised Neverland, only 5 chapters behind right now. I took a peek. Things are looking pretty crazy. Lucia had every Darkbring ability. He was literally going to use the ultimate Darkbring to pull a Neo Eclipse and No, he was going to leave their timeline, which was going to create a chain reaction of the fact that it was created from it, and destroy it. But that wasn't straight like I can swing my sword and destroy an entire timeline. He was going to use the power of Endless while leaving the timeline, since that and Ethereon created it, as like, and Star Memory to, no, wasn't he gonna destroy Star Memory, and that was pretty much like a pillar of the of that timeline, so it was gonna destroy it. It was definitely not straight power level stuff, because otherwise, then if you count something like that, then Natsu taking out Zeref, who set up the Neo Eclipse, he'd be like multiversal or something ridiculous. The way that they were both doing it was based off of, like, weird control of the object themselves. I wouldn't give it, like, a straight stat versus, like, what we know both of them were capable of. I wouldn't give it, like, a straight stat. That's kind of like... I mean, it's kind of like my same opinion with Bleach and the Spirit King, whereas it's not like they were like, oh yeah, I'm able to destroy a whole world by this. It was because the Spirit King was literally a pillar that held up the worlds and the stability of them. All he did was kind of like take away that holding, and then they started to crumble. So it's a sequel to Akame Got Kill. I know that there's a prequel. There's a sequel. Really? What's the sequel called? Oh, the Crush one. I'm thinking of that sumo wrestler one. Oh, link me the sequel one on Twitter. I'll have to take a look. I didn't know there was a sequel. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, Blood Absorption, Venom Squall, Deadly Shoot of Venom. Isn't there what's the one before him? Is it Greedy Venom Fusion Dragon? The one like the evolution of it? By solid amount I might add, even if we exclude he can seal magic. I mean, yeah, but his sword can break. Ashura almost broke Revolt, and that was just off of sheer strength. There's no way that's... And there's not even the fact that if Savage Dragonfire can burn time, then what's that really going to do against the Rave Sword? It's going to break it. I mean, you'd already got it snapped before. The Rave Stone itself, we don't know if it can be destroyed as easy, but the swords, the physical swords are attached to, can definitely break. They've broke multiple times. And what's really going to happen at that point, the second Haru gets the sword broken? Because Natsu has a lot more experience fighting a weapons user than Shiki has fighting a hand-to-hand person. And Natsu has years more combat experience. Like, all of Haru's battles happened over, what was it, two years? I have to look at the exact amount of time passing, but I think it was 2, maybe 3 years. Natsu has been working for more than 10 years about. Like, he's been much more active in his life of adventure and fighting opponents, and I think that's also a huge factor in it. And again, not to mention the fact that with his fire, his fire I think is one of the largest factors in this, because it's not like he has to straight hit him with the flames. The heat generating off his flames is ridiculous, and that alone is going to cause not only damage, but it's also going to cause problems with seeing, breathing. I mean, if you're trying to breathe in really hot air, now imagine if you have fire that can do crazy shit like Natsu's. I mean, it's I don't see it happening. Of the villain arc, always nice to give villains character development. Yeah, I like what he's doing with him. I'm wondering what kind of power he's going to get after this 4 months of evolution thing. Oh, you're gonna go? See you, Smarty. Have a good weekend, bruh. Still got Sunday. Gonna go back to work this week. Short week for me this week, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, have a good one, Smarty. Villain Art, my name is awesome, especially with Tamura. Yeah, I was really happy with Tamura and Toga. Twice was really cool. Freaking, I don't understand what is up with Horikoshi and setting Dabi up to do stuff and then doing nothing with him. Teen Titans greater than Teen Titans Go. I mean, yeah, that's obvious. Human means dream. Would dream be something between? I mean, is there an element I'm thinking? I don't think that's all the Yu-Gi-Oh elements. Well, no, because Yu-Gi also has divine as one of the attributes. He could have used divine, because divine is only for the gods, and you probably could do some crazy stuff with that. You have Reigns, Arc 5 Exexel, Beyond Time, Bonds Beyond Time 2. Well, the theory that the next Part 7 is supposed to be an anniversary series, so there's theories that it's going to have some form of crossover again between all of them, which I'm really hoping is the case. No, just an idea. Well, that's alright. It sucks Black Torch got axed. It's cool to see other ideas. We had the character descriptions if the series continued. Do you think it'd be better in another magazine or as an anime? I think it would have done great as an anime. It's a shame the series got canceled. I'd like the main character. So the author has a currently running series. I think it's bi-weekly. Heart Gear, I believe it's called. I checked out the first couple chapters. Pretty good. I'm waiting for it to stockpile, and then I'm gonna get back to it. But I thought it was pretty solid. It's like robots and stuff. The sword isn't invincible, but Natsu's fire won't destroy it either. I mean, his Savage Dragon Fire absolutely will destroy it. And Natsu can straight destroy it with just physical force. If Ashura almost did it, Natsu definitely can. Natsu is way more powerful than Ashura. Max, how do you feel about Bleach's ending and the ships in the end? Oh, Bleach is still going through the novels. The novels are canon. It's still continuing forward. But I thought that couples setup made sense. I mean, there were a lot of people upset that Ichigo didn't hook up with Rukia, but Rukia and Ichigo never really had a romantic relationship. They were close friends, but that was never really set up to be anything beyond that. I never really saw a relationship doesn't have to be romantic to be strong. Well, they were friends. What if my anime was deconstruction of the idea of shipping? I mean, what are you gonna do? Just start killing every ship? Do you think Noel's mom is alive? Potentially. I think there's the potential here with the Heart Kingdom. I like Natsu more than Haru, but just rule yourself, bro. He's got way more strategy options. I mean, he's got more variety, but you can't even, like, most of them aren't going to do anything. All Mel Force is really going to do is push Natsu. That's not going to do a whole lot about him. Natsu can already stand perfectly fine in, like, massively increased gravity. You have something like Million Suns isn't going to do anything to Natsu at all. Haru doesn't use Sacrifar. Gravity Core, again, Natsu's dealt with higher levels of gravity. I mean, really, the only thing that Haru really has that is like a threat to Natsu is Rune Save. And that's about it. But all Natsu has to do is just not get hit by it, and he's already shown he's got experience like fighting somebody with a weapon and fighting projectiles as well. Like, I don't see Haru having that same level with Natsu. Like, Haru was good, but Natsu has so much more battle experience. He has such a much more like natural battle instinct. He's got like a higher level of AoE. He's got easier level. I mean, the fact that if Haru ends up switching to Explosion, all that's going to do is boost Natsu. Not only give him back stamina, but also make him stronger. Sage Mode Naruto versus Julius. Oh, I'm going to Julius. Julius is going to turn him to dust. Asta versus Shiki. Well, the question is that it's kind of hard because Ether Gear. I mean, Ether really, it's pretty much mana and stuff. So there's that kind of like question if it would count as magic. I think it would. I would give my money to Asta currently. Shiki, I feel like will be a pretty solid counter to Asta in the future, given that he's very mobile, and his level of mobility, I think, would be pretty hard for Asta to deal with personally. Because we know that Asta, the easiest way to like combat a straight close quarters combat swordsman like him is really going to be a character who's just very mobile, very agile. And someone like Shiki, who's not just very mobile and agile, but he already also has a very irregular movement kind of like designed to him with gravity manipulation. Tengen doesn't have magic, so he could use Asta's swords. I mean, anyone could use Asta's swords. It's the fact that, one, they're too heavy for a normal kind of like wizard and Black Clover to use. And each of them have their own effects, and those effects mess with them. Like the demon slaying sword, it messes with their ability to control their magic because it's like a magnet, because it's pretty much just fully magic proof. So, you know, their body's full of magic, holding the sword is pushing magic away from them wherever they're holding. The demon dweller sword, you know, it's going to absorb magic while touching it. You could still physically pick it up. It would just, well, if you were physically strong enough to wield it, you could still use it, but it would, you know, be a huge detriment to, you know, whatever their style is. Explosion can block explosions. Yeah, but it's not going to really do much to anything other than what, like a roar. But that's Natsu can just go through it. It's also going to just make Natsu stronger, replenish his stamina, and just give him like a much larger arsenal of like power output to use against Shiki or against Haru. And again, like something just like the heat radiating off of Natsu's fire is too much for Haru to handle. How is he going to counter literally just heat around him? He can't. And that's going to not only burn him, but it's going to give him a horrible like level of fighting. Because he's, again, keep this in mind. This is something that you have to keep in mind in an environment of fighting a fire using character. Anyone using heat. Is it's going to make it harder for them to see. It's going to make it harder for them to breathe. And someone like Haru, who is very much like a straight physical fighter, who's got this, you know, these special swords, it's gonna just be a detriment to him trying to fight Natsu if he can't even fully see him and he can't even breathe properly. I mean, he almost lost to Megiddo, and Megiddo has lesser flames than Natsu does. Yuno versus Ime Sasuke pre-war. I'm gonna go with Sasuke on that one. Wait, pre-war? Yeah, I'd probably go with Sasuke. One of the thing right now that is, I think one of the best ways to counter some of Black Clover, because Black Clover's got like speed, you know, and someone like, you know, who's got he's got like maneuverability, he's got a pretty wide arsenal and pretty good control of his power, is like AoE. Straight AoE is dangerous for them because they don't have it, and if they can't escape certain sized attacks in time, they're screwed. Like someone against, like Asta versus Natsu. Like Natsu's magic, Shiki's not Shiki. My god, I'm mentioning so many different names, I'm fumbling over myself again. But with Asta's anti-magic, he, you know, probably could cut some, I don't think all of Natsu's attacks. Some of Natsu's power output, I think, is definitely above Black Clover. His casual attacks, I think that Asta could cut through. But I don't think he could just cut through any of, Fire Dragon King, Dragon Force level stuff. As of right now, because the highest that Asta's swords can go should be to where Licht should scale to. Just kind of like, they were his swords, so they should be at least, at level with him. And they'll probably climb up higher eventually, but it just kind of gives it like that pretty easy to establish kind of like level to him. But look at something like, okay, if he could cut his roar, then what if Natsu just melts the ground? Then Asta's going to fall into lava. That's pretty much it. Yume is a neutral character, neither good or evil. It's just like hanging out. I had no idea about Heart Gear. I enjoyed Black Torch and Fantasies. Was eager to see the creator come up. Well, I don't think he didn't write Fantasies. Fantasies is about that guy who did Golem Hearts. Wonder what BC and Myrick name across there, especially with some character spot. You would have to put him at some. You'd have to do something, I think, like like Heroes, like put him on a neutral area, because it would be weird to put him in the city, but then you couldn't, or maybe like the characters. Imagine the characters got swapped, and then maybe there's like some weird like spatial distortion where you're in like a half city and then half like Magic Kingdom, and they're all just there's some like big issue and they have to deal with it in order to kind of like get out or something. Asta will surpass Licht. I mean, yeah, for sure. I definitely think he's going to surpass him at some point. Million Suns would be extra effective, not to still a demon. Well, no, it's light, and light isn't really going to do much. I mean, he already fought Sting, who straight uses holy magic, and that didn't do anything extra for him. And Fairy Tail demons are different than Wraith Master demons. And with Wraith Master, it wasn't demon, it was light, because they had that whole elemental tree, and certain elements countered each other, and that's why it worked. It wasn't just straight a demon. And it's Million Suns isn't going to do anything to Natsu. I mean, really, he's already taken holy attacks and didn't do nothing. Revelta is capable of fighting all the power and every Darkbring at once. I mean, yeah, but most of the Darkbrings aren't straight power. They're weird abilities. It's not really going to have them. Ashura was already like, what happened with Ashura? He almost lost to Ashura. He almost lost to Megiddo. Again, Megiddo has lesser flames than Natsu, and Megiddo almost beat him. And the only reason he didn't is because Shuda stepped in. He utilized the powers of Zark and Ignis, and the Ignis being the eye, and the power of Chaos, and continually gain control. I mean, what's the plot though of that? You're just gonna have some like super character do stuff? I just can't see Natsu beating him. I mean, he's got way more battle experience. He's got higher AoE. He's got a higher higher destructive output. He's way more maneuverable in combat. I mean, Haru has a much more a much larger level of arsenal to use, but these are things that Natsu has dealt with. Really, like what does he really have that Natsu hasn't encountered before? I mean, what power does Haru have that Natsu can't be like, oh yeah, I fought somebody that had that power before? I mean, Gravity Core. Okay, yeah, cool. He fought Blue Note. What happened? What was he gonna do? Something with Blue Crimson? I mean, he fights Gray all the time, and that's another thing. Blue Crimson isn't gonna really do anything because Blue Crimson's ice doesn't have any like crazy cold feats, so it's gonna melt the second it comes near Natsu's fire, and the fire is gonna boost Natsu. So, what is that really gonna do for him? Savage Dragon Fire provides the potential to surpass Haru. I mean, he's already far beyond Haru. But Natsu needs to improve first. Haru fights with fire also. Yeah, but that's just going to boost Natsu. That's going to boost Natsu. And Natsu's fire is way stronger. It has way higher level of temperature feats. Like when he fought, like AoE, when he fought Jacob and his demolition fish evaporated that entire lake, the 50-kilometer wide lake. I mean, that AoE already is ridiculous. It's way more than Haru's. The heat level output of that is ridiculous. His body temperature alone is hot enough to melt steel. So I don't know why you're trying to bring what kind of heat levels does Blue Crimson really have? What does it even have? Early Natsu levels of heat? I know it's obviously fire, but it doesn't mean it's gotta be melting up steel all over the place. I had to look back and look at the stuff, but I can't think of any real parts where Blue Crimson was the big, some big decision, deciding thing. Were there any fights really it was the big factor other than the first fight against Let? Really? Ash Pikachu and Ash Greninja team up? What did that do with anything? I think I'll be able to function as well as functional eloquence. Air breathing helps controls his power. Well, how does his powers work though? One of the girls I've been making will probably remind you of Weiss from Ruby running into stuff. Dark Elf Patri versus Third Hokage. I'm probably gonna give it to Patri. I mean, all that demon light and crazy teleporting almost stuff is kind of pretty wild. The power Ultimate Dark brings absolute baseline planetary. I mean, it had a setup for it with End of Earth, but I mean, you can't really compare it to something like when to Rave, because Rave straight countered Darkbring. It was its weakness. Rave specifically was the weakness to Darkbring. And so you can't really like have that, like it's not really comparable when it has like a straight boost. I mean, that's like saying like Gray when he fought against Mard Gear in the Tartarus arc. He wasn't Mard Gear's level. He got a general boost because of Demon Slayer magic and the fact that he was fighting a demon. But if you took that boost out of it, there was no way he was going to even come close to Mard Gear. We saw in terms of pretty much every other stat, Mard Gear was faster. He had a higher level of damage output in general. It's not really comparable, my guy. But then, like, you have to look at something that they're like, okay, yeah, well, Savage Dragonfire, Dragon Force. Like, base casual Zeref was above Dragon Form Irene, and Natsu was fighting him just fine. He was keeping up with him. He was, swapping attacks. I mean, really, you can't really use that. You can't use End of Earth as a comparison, just because of the fact that it's like Rave 100% was the raw counter. It's like using Kryptonite against Superman. And you've built a new Gigantamax Pokemon. I've been trying so hard to avoid spoilers. I'm less than a month away from the new game. I keep seeing spoilers, and it's making me salty. I was okay with some of them. Like, I saw Farfetch'd because it got beamed everywhere. But I saw, like, the giant Charizard. I saw the giant Meowth, the giant Butterfree. I don't want to see anymore. I try really... Whenever a new generation comes out, I try to avoid it. Because I like seeing all the stuff, like, fresh and new. It makes it a lot more fun. But, god damn it. I keep seeing all these. I mean, it's a cool concept. But I don't want to see it right now until I actually get the game. Right, so what's happening with Yuya and Zuzu and Co. right now? I mean, I don't know. Arc 5 ended like 3 years ago. I mean, what was the ending to Arc 5? I don't even remember. I gotta rewatch Season 3 at some point. Hitcher became stronger after he became a Dark Elf. He used Demon Light Magic, which was stronger, and then his Light Magic will happen, and Asta and his Demon Sword Magic will be stronger than, like, it's sick anti-spells. Oh no, the thing about Asta's swords is they're very powerful tools, because they scale far beyond, like, Asta, because they were used by Lick, so they're at a level beyond him. But by themselves, they're swords. They're just good, they're just inanimate objects. It's all up to Asta. Asta, at that point, it needs to be his power to, get physically stronger, keep moving up, keep boosting himself, keep overcoming, like, his limits, and to overcome every obstacle coming his way. It's completely dependent on the output of him versus the output of the swords at this point. Oh, man, there's a video on Twitter of a tree that got struck by lightning. It's really cool looking. It's like hollowed out on the inside. It's got this big gash and it's on fire, but only in the inside. That's really neat. Nature's cool sometimes. Anyway, let me get back to reading stuff. I got distracted. I got real distracted. I love Charizard more than the other Pokemon. My favorite Pokemon is Volcarona. I wish Volcarona got the Mothra Giant treatment. Come on. And please, if you have been looking at the new Pokemon generation, please no spoilers. The only spoiler I would want is if there's a number of new Pokemon. If it's like, oh, there's 85 new Pokemon in this game. I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm okay with that. I just don't want to see any. I don't want to see any evolutions of anything. I don't want to see anything beyond what's shown. I've seen the starters, I've seen the legendaries, and I've seen a couple leaked ones. I really don't want spoilers for this game. I'd really appreciate if no one could spoil stuff for me. I think Natsu could defeat Hollow Mask Ichigo or Visor Ichigo. Yes. Natsu's fire is legitimately like a huge counter to a lot of characters. Like Ichigo obviously gets Tensho is it's energy based. It's all based off his Ratsu. Natsu should be able to burn it. So, I mean, something like that. Like, when I talk about Naruto, like, we talked about Naruto versus Natsu not too long ago, a couple streams ago. And I think that currently, Naruto is stronger, but I think that Natsu will be stronger in the end because of the whole Dragon God setup. He's got some crazy stuff in the future, but that's all speculation. Right now, though, the one thing Natsu definitely has, Savage Dragon Fire, and the stronger versions of Naruto, he's wearing the chakra cloak. Though Naruto has a higher output, he's got a larger arsenal. Something like Shadow Clone's useless against Natsu because Natsu's fire is going to burn them out. They're both it's also just in general, the Shadow Clones are delicate. Natsu's fire will burn them, but plus also they're made of chakra, so magic burning fire is going to burn the chakra away. And the fact that he's wearing this chakra cloak, it's pretty much wearing gasoline, an equivalent to fighting Natsu. It's something like Ichigo. Anybody who's using big energy attacks like that, Natsu has a strong counter to them. Not like a full counter, but definitely a pretty good chance setup based off that. Wait, what is this? What picture do you want to see? Wait, I want to see the picture shared. What picture are you talking about? Playmaker meet Yume and duel him. Playmaker loses because he's lost his edge because of grief. I mean, you're gonna make a character. You're making some super character to beat the main character. Careful, man. You don't want to tip into Gary Stu levels. You gotta be careful. You don't want your character to look like some self-insert or something ridiculous. I always worry because out of the 5 main characters that I made, the first main character, his name was Rax, and then I used that for my online name because I was like, oh yeah, I'll just use that. I think that's cool. And then that kind of is what people refer to me as, and it stuck. So I'm still speculating, do I change the character's name or do I explain every single time? It's not a self-insert, it's kind of reverse where I took the character's name, and it's always that annoying thing because a self-insert is always that you don't want to get accused of that because it looks like you're trying to just trying to hype yourself up in some fantasy rather than write a story. I don't think it would come off as any self-insert look how cool I am thing with the character name Rax who originally existed because he goes through some unfortunate situations, kind of gets screwed over a lot. But anyway. Well, Charlotte truly confesses to Yami before he either leaves or if later. Oh, he didn't leave. He's staying there. He's kind of stuck. So Natsu can burn even energy itself to OP. Oh, yeah, he burned time. Well, he should be able to burn any energy equivalent to magic. Any kind of serious where it's hey, here's our fictional power source. Here's chakra. Here's Ryatsu. Here's mana. Here's, Fantasia. Anything that's kind of an equivalent of that. And then Savage Dragon Fire can straight burn concepts, so that's kind of ridiculous in its own kind of weird thing to kind of look at. I know what Playmaker is 2 OP. I mean, not really. He doesn't have nearly as many wins as someone like Yugi or Yusei. I don't even think he has as many wins as Jaden. He just didn't lose a lot. I don't think he had any straight losses, but I think that was more because all his real duels, his big duels, it was either he loses or he doesn't. Or he loses and he's fucked, or he wins. And all of the, a lot of the really good duels otherwise went to Soul Burner. I had this weird suspicion that Soul Burner was secretly they wanted to be the main character. He just seemed like a much more enjoyable character. I want to see the tree. The tree of what? Oh, it's on Twitter. I just retweeted it. Let me pull up. I can pull up a picture. 1 second. Give me a second. I'll screenshot it and then I'll put it on the stream. Give me 1 second. All right. Let me save it, and then I will put it in the stream if you guys want to see it. It's pretty cool looking. I wonder how many volts were in that lightning bolt. I'm gonna label it as lightning tree, and then I will put it in the stream if you guys want to see this. 1 second. Let's see, image. Where are you, tree? Lightning tree. I don't normally mean to distract, but it was really neat looking, so I wanted you guys to see it. Since I also am the one that brought it up, I might as well show it. Okay, let me visually put it up. There we go. Look at that. It's got it was struck in, carved out this whole area where it hit, and then set fire so it's burning from the inside. I thought that was pretty sick. RX, do you think you can make a Black Clover game? Wait, do you think they can make a Black Clover game like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4? I'm surprised they haven't. I actually really wish that the game that they came out, Quartet Knights, was much more of a straight fighter just because I thought the 3D kind of like big zone battle game was a little bit rough to start, because I don't think when you get a series you should start with that kind of like widespread of a game. You should go to something pretty standard and set up, because you don't know how much money you're going to be putting into it. You don't know how successful it'll be. I would have really liked like a 2D beat 'em up game, or not, maybe not like a beat 'em up. Actually, that would have been really fun. Just like it's like one of those. I think they're just called beat 'em up games. It's got like you get a couple characters, and then it's like it's multiplayer, and you have like a little zone, and it's constantly moving. Oh yeah, Black Divider. It's like a constantly moving map, and then you just have guys come in from all sides, and you got to fight them. I've played a couple beat 'em up games like that. I think the easiest one to reference is that Simpsons one. Very, very enjoyable. I'm hoping, right, that they make another game. I don't know how well it did, because I can't see sales in Japan unless I look further into it. I gotta do like Japanese Google and stuff. But I bought the game and I enjoyed it. So I was just real sad there wasn't a lot of people playing it when I had it. Maybe there's more people now, but I would like to play more. Maybe we can get Black Clover YouTubers and we could all join up and do it. Maybe it'll do some good for the game. I think is it 4v4? Was that the number for the game? I'll look it up later today, and then maybe look into this. What if a game attack got incorporated into canon? What if a video game attack got incorporated into canon? And what do you mean? From the spinoff? Do you mean from the I know the Black Clover, there's the Black Clover game, and then there's the manga based off the game. But I don't know. Is there any unique attacks? I know there's the villain lady, and she's got like weird time stuff, and she does stuff with the moon. Oh, let me put the, what's up, Blady? This is good. I'll put the thing back on there, because it is cool to look at. I like how Blady says "whoa" and then removed comment. Any advice on Link Monster for Yuma and Yuya? I don't know. I mean, Yuma would have to be. It would just be like some like Link, like what, like Link Hope, Link Utopia, and then a new Odd Eyes Link Dragon or something. Link 5, Firewall Chaos Succeed Dragon. Well, you need a Link 6. How did he not get a Link 6 by the end of the series? That was just so weird. I was fully expecting him to, get some like sick new version of of Firewall Dragon, Firewall something Dragon, Firewall Dragon something. Link 6. Didn't even get it. We got a really cool like final battle, but like damn. Maybe they're saving it, because if the next series is some like big conglomeration of the series 6 before it. Wait, sorry, I thought I was behind on the stream, so I deleted it. That's all right. Oh no, I'm caught up. I mean, we're looking at the cool lightning tree. Lightning tree is pretty neat. It's a neat addition to the stream. We talk about manga, but now we talk about lightning trees. Solid stuff. Nature gonna do some crazy stuff. Disappointed for no. There's not gonna be a Link 8. No, if it was gonna go, I think the highest Link was gonna be 6, because they had that one card that it was like, it did a dice roll, and then I think it was whatever dice it landed on like adds to whatever Link you're doing. I think Link 6 was pretty much set up that, because they had a Link 5. That tree doesn't even look real. Oh, it's real. It's a real tree. Well, that's because I used a still shot. The video was on Twitter if you want to go see it. It's on Twitter. You can see it on fire. You can see it going. They're recording it, moving around the tree. It's fancy, man. It's a fancy tree. It was very interesting to see. One more time, I'm gonna do one more shill for the stream. If you would thumbs up the stream, I appreciate everyone who's here. Appreciate everyone for coming out and hanging out. Got any further questions? Anything you want to ask me over the course of this last week? Go on ahead. It's more of a community stream than just, whatever the title and the picture on there is. And, any likings of the stream is appreciated. I accept and welcome any donations. You want to throw me $1, it'd be very appreciated. But like I've always said, any donations are fully up to you guys. They are not demanded, but they are appreciated. Anyway, Odd Eyes Data Dragon. I mean, what would it be? Was there any? I'm trying to think of what you could kind of like pull. Maybe like Odd Eyes Circuit Dragon. There we go. Odd Eye Circuit Dragon and like Utopia Circuit something. Utopia the Circuit. I don't know. I kind of like the circuit. I like Circuit Dragon though, and then you have like all the cool circuit like designs on it. Maybe the arrows get incorporated into them. Something fancy like that. What do you think about that? I think that'd be really cool. I think that addition would be a lot more. Any advice on shonen rivals and female characters? Just have like an idea of what you kind of want to like, what the plan is for their character overall. So like, for instance, Rax, have you looked at Overly Cautious Hero? I haven't. What's that about? Do you think Natsu could defeat Aizen? Let me think about that in a second. But for instance, the character out of them, the female character I have for like what would be like the primary series that I do. The plan would be I would make her very unlikable and mean at the very start, and then you get reasons why she'd be like kind of a bitch and not really likable, and then it's like, oh, I understand why this character's like this, and then as they get nicer, like through the series, become much more like open about who they are, much more accepting of like others around them. You would have, well, Noelle was snobbish. She wasn't like, my plan would be like borderline villain, like not very far off from a bad guy, kind of like a female character. It's like what I would be wanting. I've heard whispers of Cautious Hero. Sounds interesting. Cautious Hero. What is that though? I don't know what that is. Yeah, so Natsu versus Aizen. I'm trying to think, because the thing about it is Natsu's fought before without thinking. So the full control, full hypnosis, he has something established that could completely like do away with like the idea of that, of just straight fighting all around him, AoE just going off of instinct, not really doing any form of like planning or anything beyond that. There's obviously the fact that is fire burning, stuff like keto is a thing. I don't remember where Aizen really sat by the end of the series, like power level wise. I'm pretty sure that Natsu has like straight stats higher than him, but Aizen has, he's got some, hypnosis hacks. He's got a huge range of keto. I'm gonna put my money on Natsu just because, obviously AoE energy burning fire is very dangerous to somebody like Aizen, who, though he can fight, he's much more of a caster in a lot of ways. Takaripper is a base on Ichigo. What does that mean? Is a base on Ichigo? At least Noelle is useful, unlike Sakura. Oh, I don't like Sakura. Sakura's, I'm not a fan of. Sounds like Wise. No, Wise and Noelle were they were obnoxious and snobbish. The character I'm thinking of, she'd be very mean. She would not really help anybody. She would be kind of sadistic. She's a lot of very mean things to say about it. And this wouldn't be like, oh, you're an insect. This would be like, fuck you, I don't care, go kill yourself. Something that would be like, wow, what is wrong with you? Why are you so mean? Just overly bully. Like, much, much more of a jerk. It's somebody, you wouldn't be able to like them until you found out, like, the reason of why they're like that. And then kind of, going further in it. I'm going to send you a link. Alright. Post it on Twitter. Send me a link on Twitter. At me on Twitter. Do that. Still wish Black Clover had animation like Kimetsu no Yaiba, but still look good overall. Black Clover will survive it out. They're in for the long haul. That's the thing. Like, Kimetsu no Yaiba is almost over. Black Clover is 200 and something chapters in, and we're just getting started. We're still only getting through one kingdom. We got a lot more to go. So, again, we'll survive in the long haul. PC game manga. It'd be weird to see that in canon. There's a lot of, there's a lot of parts to it that's kind of like the Dragon Ball movies, where their power levels are absurdly beyond what the actual canon is. Well, until they did, other than, what's his name, Zeno, the super mega guy from Super. I think that, Janemba is still stronger than a lot of characters in Dragon Ball Super, because his, power-up was, pretty ridiculous, though. I think it's a creepy, evil laugh. A squeaky laugh. I sent you a link on Discord. Yeah, I'll check it out. After the stream. I'm going to end it in a few minutes. Actually, I'll end it right now so I can set up some stuff. Yeah, I can see no difference between your character and Noelle. Yeah, the whole thing, it would be that kind of heavy, change between them. Definitely the highest of, seeing where they would start and where they'd go. They'd be almost two different characters. but it's more of like the journey of like what changed them and what kind of like made them so different. And she's not a very nice person. She kind of likes to pick on people, but not out of well. She grew up in a gang, so it's not like she had a good environment of flourishing growth. Yusaku will have flashbacks of I become Yume and will gain more power over time. That'd be good. Do you think there's a chance that Eckerly coming back 100 Years Quest, or maybe his child? I had a theory of like, because he ate time and he was kind of like merged into like time, the possibility of him maybe not coming back alive, but maybe his conscience existing, maybe like exist to talk to Natsu or something. Maybe like he and like some of him ended up kind of like infecting Natsu somehow when he like burned away or more like crumbled away. I think that there might be something remnant about him. A child though, that would be really interesting. Like, what would be the kind of like the topic to go with that? Like the question then would be like, who would the mom be? Well, like where's this character been? There's definitely a possibility in that. But I think it would have to be somewhere like a Next Generations thing. Maybe like an older character you find out is maybe, a child of Acnology or something. I don't know. Actually, I think this is... Oh, I read that. Yeah. Yeah, she's not very nice. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream here. If you guys got any more questions, just at me on Twitter or comment below. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate everyone for coming out and coming to chit-chat today. It's a little bit of a shorter stream. Next weekend, I might have a Friday stream this week because I have Friday off, so I might do the Friday stream, which will be a little bit longer than this one to make up for it. So keep posted. I will say that after this next week, I'm going to take a little short break on the character discussion videos. Like the theme ones, I'll probably do some if I just feel like talking about some characters, but I'm going to take a little break on the whole the whole voting poll because I just want to take a little bit more relaxed kind of start into November since we're getting close to the end of the year. But other than that, yeah, thanks for showing up, everybody. Really appreciate it. Checking out my videos. We're gonna have some more stuff. We're calling up to another like thick Mashima week. Yeah, we're probably gonna get some more spooky stuff. We're still in the spooky month. We still got some stuff going on. But other than that, thanks everyone.